Yeah. So in the previous session, we created database called company database. We created in this company database, we created inserted some tables, some tables we created here, some tables we created for this. So here, same thing what we did in the company database or EFG database we created in the previous session. And here we created some tables here, branch info, country info, department info, employee info here. Let me open inquiry here. Let me open inquiry. Here what we do, we will extract the data which we inserted. Let me say select start from EMP info. First one is department info, branch info, select start from country info here. If we select this, we will get a department info table here. Let me copy this here and show you here. We'll paste it here. We paste it here. This is the data we created a table for this and inserted a data for this. And again, what we did again, branch info with data created and inserted for this with a branch info table. Why we did the branch info we created here? Branch is the one which help us to maintain the branch information about the country here that we maintained, and here also department we maintained here. And country info is the one where we maintain all the country details. All the country details here we maintained. Okay, so these three tables we created here. These three tables we created here. These are the static table where it's update very oftenly. Where it update very oftenly. Just like once you create a table, it will not we not able to update frequently. Sometimes we'll update today, then again we'll update after a long time, 6 months or 1 year sometimes. Because once we define or once we design our company database, so we'll not keep on updating here. We just inserting the data, and when the requirement comes, then only we'll update. But here we have transactions table. What is this? Transaction table. For example, transaction table here is employee info table, where my data is frequently updated. Every fraction of minutes or fraction of second, it's keep on updating here. It's keep on updating here, right? So this is my employee info table. So this is I got a chance to work on my company database. In this company database, I worked on these are the tables I created for this, and also these are the data I inserted here. So now my requirement is changed. This is a simple requirement. I got it to create a database, and here I inserted data here. Now my requirement is changed. What is my requirement is? For example, this is data is present here. This is data is present from static table. We maintain ID column here rather than here text column. What we'll do? For example, employee name present A, it belongs to IT. Instead of IT here, we saved here key value of the department ID we maintain here. B means if B belongs to finance, finance we need to maintain this 2 here. C belongs to HR, then instead of the HR here, 3 belongs to here. That's fine. What we're doing is that's fine. So these are the 4 tables we created. Now my challenges is data validations. For example, I created a table and inserted the data here. That's fine. This is my data. If I introduce duplicate, let me say insert into department info. Insert into department info values here. I inserted duplicate here. For example, I inserted duplicate here. IT. Here, one dot affected. If I run this, what happened? It's duplicated, right? It's a duplicated. IT already present here. Again, it's duplicated. For example, if I use here null, null should be not be support. Null should be not be support. And what about this? I said here is a key value. What about this? It's duplicated, right? We should not be do the data like this. We should not insert the records what we want here. For this, we need to go for data validations. So to avoid this insertion of junk value, to avoid like data accuracy, to maintain some data accuracy, we need to take a help of called integrity, data integrity. What is basically in SQL Server data integrity here? Data integrity is the one where we can restrict the data. While so data integrity is the one which help us to restrict the insertion of junk data, and maintain data accuracy, and it maintain data accuracy. Data accuracy it will be maintained here. Data accuracy it will be maintained, and data consistency it will be maintained. Data consistent it will be maintained here, and consistent it will be maintained here. So to maintain these all the stuff, we need to use integrity concept. What are these integrity? Different types of integrity here. Here, the data integrity in SQL Server are different types: are entity integrity. Second one is reference integrity, and third one is user-defined integrity. User-defined integrity here, and fourth one is domain integrity. Domain integrity here. So this integrity is always maintain data accuracy. So based on this, based on this integrity, we can do lot of data validation here. So these integrities are the one which plays very important role in our SQL Server. To enforce this integrity, we need to take a help of constants. We need to take a help of constants here. These are the integrities from the SQL Server. To enforce this, what needs to do? We need to use a help of constant here. Constant is the one which help us to enforce data integrity. To enforce my data integrity here. The constants here basically were different types. So I will explain one by one in detail. From the scratch I will explain here. Yeah. Here constants are the one which need to help us to enforce this integrity here. Basically entity integrity is the one where it maintains data should be unique and not null. Data should be unique and not null is called as a entity integrity. Entity integrity is the one where the data should be unique here and it should be not null. What is reference integrity? Reference integrity is the one where we use unique key value in one table which is referred by other table, is called as a reference integrity here. Because one key value we use, but that key value we can use it by other table. It is called as a reference integrity. And user defined. For example, user defined is the one where I want to put a restriction, data restriction, saying that it should be allow only numbers. It should be allow alphanumeric numbers. It should be allow zip code like 6 digits. No more than nobody should be able to enter more than 6 digits and all the stuff. These are the integrity we can make it by user defined integrity here. What is this domain integrity? Domain integrity is like, for example, I don't want to insert any value for that. By default, again and again, rather than selecting same. For example, let me say, yeah, on school's applications. Here, all student belongs to college called Oxford College. Oxford College here. College name is Oxford. So no need of inserting again and again same data, right, for all the stuff. No need of inserting here same data here. Instead of that one, it should be by default it should be taken as Oxford. But should be taken as a default as an Oxford here. That can be taken by domain integrity. Some default values we need to assign by using domain integrity. Let me explain here more into this information here. But before going to that, I want to show you something here. Here in SQL Server, once you install your SQL Server, you want to check what is the version of SQL Server you are working for. You want to check what is the SQL Server you want to working for here. There is a called SQL version you want to check by using function called select is a command we need to use at version. At that version, what it do basically, it show which version of SQL Server are you using. Which version of SQL Server are you using here? Select at that version here. Select is executed. See here, it show SQL Server version here. Complete info about the SQL Server it will show here. Microsoft SQL Server 2012 and complete version here. Select at that version. That's the one thing. Next thing you want to check what is the date and time here. What is the date and time here? You want to check date and time here. So by using select get date, What is this get date do? Get date is always getting your system date and time. It always gets your system date and time here. So select get date is the one which helps us to get the information about all your system. If you run this, what happen? It will take today's system date and time here. With the date and time, it will show. It's based on your system date and time only. It's not like other date and time. System date and time here. These two I will we make use of in the future examples. So I explained here. So get date is the one which help us to get the information about the system. Attack version is the one which help us to save the here version of here. Let me go from the scratch with the data validation. Now we created a database and inserted some value. We created a database, company database here. You maintain like we here inserted data. That's fine. But I'm not satisfied with this. Why? Because it will allow the duplicate, it will allow the junk value or whatever it may be. So what needs to do? We need to go for start from the scratch here. What we'll do? We will take here. I'm getting a chance to work on some database here. What is the work I get a chance to work on? Some college information. For that, I want to maintain some database here. That is my requirement. For college, I need to maintain some database here. How to do this? First, once I will show you from the scratch here. I will show you from the scratch. I need to here. Let me see. I will close this. I will show you how to clear this. Once you install your SQL Server, I need to open this SQL Server here. It's called as a SQL Server Management Studio. SQL Server Management Studio. You need to open in your system. Here we need to give your computer name or system name here, or you can make it as a local. Local means your system became a local here that we can give, or dot. Dot means local. All are same here. You need to give a local, and here it should be like Windows authentication. When you install your system with the Windows authentication, same Windows authentication only you should be select here, and you need to connect. You need to connect. Now your window will be open here, and you will be able to connect independently your database here. You will be able to connect your window here independently here. Just one thing. Here we can give here new query. New query we need to open. It will open a new query for you. It will open new query window for you here. By default, it will point into master database. By default, it will be point into your master database here. Here, master database is the one which will become by default. So, as I explained here, there are four databases here. System databases: master, model, MSDB, and tempdb here. By default, it will be consist. So, when you open here, it will open by default master database only. So, what is my requirement? I get a chance to work on college here. This database I want to do this. My hierarchy will be like this, right? Server, which we logged in already. Under server we have databases. Under databases we have tables, and tables consist of rows and columns. Rows and columns. This is a comment part which is non-executable part here. I'm going to do this. I zoom here. So server we connected. Let me create a databases here. What is the syntax of databases here? I got a chance to work on this college database, right? Create database and database name. This is my syntax. So here I'll correct here. Create database college, right? I want to create a database for college here. I get a chance to work on college database. I need to create like create database college here. Create database and college here. I got a chance to work on my database here. Here, once you create this, select this pass. Pass means check the syntax, what you type is correct or not. And here, this is able to create a database for this. So here, database name should be unique for particular server, right? Go here. Now my database is corrected here. Go here, refresh it. Here, you call a database has been created. Call a database has been created for you. Means this is under college database only I should be work, right? College database is created for us. Now if you go here to take this, there is no tables here. Why there is no table? I not created it. College means what are the requirement in the college database means important stuff. What are the things are required here? One is called as a branch, where and all I need to select the branch. Under this branch again, which are the countries I need to start my here company for college here. And after this, here I require department, which are department I need to introduce my college, computers and electronics and some MBAs or IT finance or whatever it means. That department is required. And finally, very important stuff is student info. Without student, we can't have to run the college, right? So student info we should be give here. Student info we should be give here. So basically, I will maintain like my table is a unique names like this underscore here. Why I should maintain here underscore here? To maintain standards here, we need to give. And please do avoid the white spaces in between here. If you want, you can use this, but here it's the extra burden for you guys. So don't use white spaces. Don't use white spaces in between here. Don't use white spaces in between the table. So these are the tables I want to create. For example, I want to create these are the tables here first. In this table, so table means what are the requirement is required, what are the data should be required. Branch means it should be like branch name, right? It should be like branch name. That is we need to maintain here branch name. Country name means what is required here. Country name is required. Important thing. And department info means department name is required here. Basically is required. But student means student info. What are things required? Student ID, student name, and here what is required? Department name. Department name I required here. So before going to this dynamic table, what I want to explain here, always remember in our SQL server there is a key value. There is a key value. What is this? Branch name should be includes branch ID. It should be includes branch ID here. And country info should be required country ID. Why I should be maintain these all stuff? Because each table should be having key values. Each table should have a key value. To maintain that key value, I am maintaining here branch ID, country ID, and as well as department ID here. Department ID I am maintaining here. And here also, what needs to do? These are the key values. For example, these are the key values here. These key values I need to refer here. Why should I refer here? Because this student belongs to certain branch. I need to mention here branch. Country means I need to mention country here. Department means department I should maintain. So maintain instead of name, I will maintain the IDs here. Why should we maintain IDs here? In the coming sessions, we'll get to know about that. But here, why should we use ID columns only? Student ID, student name. For example, here first we'll draft a plan for this. After this, we go into this table here. There are two types of table here. One is called the static, one is another one called the dynamic. What does this static do? Static is the one where you update very oftenly. Like for example, if I introduce branches here, IT, finance, and HR, and other, I don't want to add any other branches until the any requirement comes. Any requirement comes until that I'm not able to add. Very update very oftenly, right? So those tables we called as a static table, which update very oftenly. Then again, so country ID. For example, today I started my branches in this country. Let me say I started my branch here, India. Okay, sorry, sorry about this. It's a branch is different. Branch means which are where and all where I need to start my branch. Let me say Delhi I started this, Bombay I started this, and New York I will start this. And let me say some. Let me say London. Let me say any place here. I will start at this here. This is one. Now I will maintain some country names where and all I need to start my branch. India, US, okay, and Dubai here. I started my these countries. Actually, these branches fall under particular countries. These branches fall under these countries here. These branches should be maintained here, certain countries here. So I just maintain here branch ID, branch name, country ID, country name. I maintain here like this. And here, as I said, some key value we should be maintained for each table. Let me say here I maintain here key values. Here I maintain like any key values sequence number I maintain here. Now department ID here, this is a table where I should be maintained here department name. This is a draft plan, friends. We should be maintaining some draft plan. Before working on any database, we should be maintaining some draft plan here. Department means what are things here? IT, finance, HR, and finally others here. We should maintain. And this should be like These are the are maintained here. So departments, these are the branches, and these are the country here. Now here student name is very important name. It's a globally all the students aligned to it. So we should be careful about this. So what are things is required here? Student ID is required, name is required, and date of birth is required, right? Date of birth is required. After this, branch information is required here, right? Branch ID, country ID, and here another thing what is required? Department IDs. Department IDs is required. These are the important stuff we need to take care here. So let me proceed for here to design this table with a constant here. What should be the requirement is I want to design a table with a proper constant. What is my case 1? Let me say case 1. My branch table, my branch tables should unique values, unique set of values. So one requirement. Branch tables as well as all the tables related we consider. Branch, department, and country should unique set of values. This is the first case. Second case, like no static tables should allow null values. Null values should not be acceptable. Second case. Case number 3. What is my case number 3 here? This is under here student info table. Here what I need to do here, the dynamic table should allow valid values. What is valid values means? Here branches ID should be 1, 2, 3, 4 only. If anybody wants to enter here 5, it will be should be restrict. It should be allow here itself 3, 4. User can allow to here only 3, 4 here. It should not be allow any of the value here. Any of the other than this value, it should not be allow. Country means the student should be able to join only these countries. Other than that, no, we don't have allow here to join. Here department means the student should be fall under these departments. It should not be go for any other departments here. Any other departments here. Yeah. For example, here these are the like my requirement is the student should be belongs to these branches and the student should be belongs to these countries. They should not be allow any of the countries here. Any of the other than countries we should not be allow here. So and also here my requirement is the student belongs to these departments only. There is no student should be belongs to the other than this department. Other than this department, student should not belongs. The student will be belongs to only these countries only, these departments only. So other than this department, it should not be work. Only it should be allowed to enter only 1, 2, 3, 4. No other here we should not be enter. No other department should be entered here. So date of birth should be like date of birth of the student and ID will be student ID, unique ID we should be maintained here. And these are the validations how can we maintain all the validation we should be maintained. And also here one more thing I want to introduce here, student address. Student address is the optional one. Some address can be null and some address can be whatever it may be. Some address should be like xyz or whatever. Some address will be null and student address will be null. And I will give some UID for student. Student unique identification number I will give. So how it comes? Like the student belongs to India. It should be maintained like IN001 alphanumerical number. If student belongs to US, then it should be maintained like 2 is Bombay, it's again India only. So IN it should be like unique number it should be maintained. And here that is New York. So here I want to maintain New York. Here again we can say that US00 number. It should be unique. It should not be repeat here. And also here for London again we can say this like Dubai. Sorry, London, UK. Just an example here. I'm not sure actually. Here UK it should be like UK001. Then again India in the third record it should be accept only these values. So how to do this here? How to do these are the validations. And student name, let me take here A, B, C, D, and E. Call. And date of birth, we'll call this as a YYY format, DD format, and format. DD means here 2501 here we should be maintained, and here we should be maintained like 84 and 14 4 here. So always 14 4. Here always take my SQL server takes here DD format, DD format here, DD format here. So here also same fashion. What we do, 88 is DD here. I maintain like this, and here also here means it should be maintained like this. We should be maintained here my information like this here. Here like this, I need to maintain the information like this. So how to proceed for this? How to proceed for these are the validation. All this validation I need to maintain in a single table, because here always in the table design itself we should be checked, and we need to maintain all the validation. We need to maintain all the validations here. For this it should be like not null, and it should be allow unique. It should be allow here. Like duplicate should not be allow here, here and here and here. So how to meet this requirement? In table design, what needs to do? I created a one column database, right? Let me go by one table, and let me put a restrictions here. First, we start with a concept called entity integrity. Entity integrity is the one where it should be unique and not allow any null value. It should be like unique and it should not allow any null value here. So in the entity integrity, to meet this entity integrity, we have we have concept called primary key. We have concept called primary key we need to use to meet this entity integrity here. Primary key is the one where it should be not null and unique. Primary key is the one it always not null and it should be unique here. How to define the primary key here? Basically, when you design table here, for all the key values we should be defined as a primary key. All the key values we should be defined as a primary key here. So here let me design the branch table first, and how can we declare this as a primary key? Let me show you. Create table. What is the table name here? Branch info. Branch info is my first table. And also its syntax is like this: create table name, open and close bracket. And also here we should be select which is database, under which database you need to work. Under this which database you need to work here. College is a database we need to select here. College is a database we should be select here. Under this college database we should be work on this. Under this country information we should be work on this. Here should be work on this here. So college database, under college database we should be create table table name. Create table name we should be give. Here what needs to do? We should be maintain like branch ID, branch name. So branch ID we need to define here. What is the data type of branch ID? It's an integer. It's an integer, right? We should be defined as an integer here. Here it's a sequence number. Like sequence number will be start from 1, 2, 3, 4. Like sequence will be start from 1. Every time it need a jump of 1. It's required a jump of 1. So what is the data type? Here we need to use integer to accept numerical value. And here we should be maintain like identity 1, 1. Why I should be maintain as a 1, 1? It should be start with a 1, and each time when inserting new record it should be take as a jump of 1. It should be take as a jump of 1 here. So here identity 1, 1 I should be defined. Branch ID integer identity 1, 1 I need to define here. Next, what is this? Branch name. Branch name we should be defined here. Why I should be maintain here branch name here? To maintain the name of the branch I should be maintain. Here envarchar I am using so that it's a text data type where it should be allow only alphabets and numeric both under any special character. So I should be used for branch name envarchar here. This one I declare as 20. Any number we can give, but here I am using here 20 so that user can allow to enter only 20 values here. So here what needs to do? For branch ID, I need to define this one as a primary key. Primary key, why I define here? So that it should not be allow any numerical value here. And you can ask me here, I'm declaring as an identity already. Means it's taking a sequence number. It's not allowed null here. Then why we use primary key? Yeah. Actually, basically, if you declare identity also, sometimes it chances to get some null values. So to avoid the null values and to avoid the data inconsistency, we need to use primary key. Always my key value should be the primary key. It is nothing but my entity integrity here. To meet my entity integrity, it should be declared as a primary key for my key value. And branch name. As I said, branch name, if you feel in the table, if you feel like which are the important column, name is important, IID common, address is maybe few guys are updated, few guys are not updated. That will leave it. So like this, which you feel, which is your columns are very important. For that, we should be mentioned here not null. We should be maintained as a not null here. If you maintain here use of not null, what happens? It will not allow any null values. It will not allow any null values here. Means it will not allow any null values like it will not allow null values like this. It will not allow here. So to avoid null values, we should be enter here not null. We should be avoid null values. We need to enter here branch name envarchar not null. We should be different here. Create table, table name, open bracket and closed bracket, branch ID, branch name. Branch ID should be integer and it should be identity like 1, 1 and primary key here. Primary key is the one. It should be unique and it should not follow any null values. And branch name here this is one envarchar. It's envarchar. It should be not null. Why I should be not null here? So that it will not allow any null values. It should be not allow any null values here. It should not be allow any null values here. So for that the reason I explain here not null here. So now I define the table. I define the table here. If you pass this, what happens? It check the syntax and create a table for me. Branch info is the table. It's created for me here. Branch ID is the integer. It's an identity. It's sequence number, seed and increment. Seed means from where to start, how much you need to increment. And we call this one the primary key. Why we call this primary key? It should be allow unique values and should not be allow any null values. To meet that requirement, we should be declare primary key. And next is branch name. Branch name is the one where we can user can enter the name of the branches and it should be not null here. Why it should be not null? Because it should not have any null values here. So we call this one not null. Go here, refresh it here. In the college database, if you go here under these tables, you will get a branch info is a table here. This branch info table has been created. In this table, you can click here columns. In this table, you can click this column here. You observe here PK. PK means primary key. PK means primary key is defined here. It's a golden color. It's a golden color here. And branch name. Branch name is the one which we define. And it should be here not null here. It should be not null. And here also we can see keys. It's by default unique identification number. It will create by its own. It's created identification number by its own here. So branch ID, branch name, and after this we need to create here key value here. Key value we should be created here. Key value we should be create for this. So now I define here create table, table name, column name, data type 1, identity column, primary key here, and branch name envarchar not null. So why I should use the branch name here? Means it should not allow any null value. It should not allow any null values over here. So I define here branch name here envarchar not null. So my table has been created. My table has been created here. So here let me insert the values here. Let me try to insert the value for here. Insert into branch info. It's a table name values. First I will pass here Delhi here. That's a one set. First value I will pass as Delhi. Next I will pass as same second set as a Bombay here. Third set I will maintain here New York. And fourth is London here. Fourth is London here. And maintain this London. I maintain here Delhi, Bombay, and here. Yeah, here this is a Delhi, Bombay, New York, and London. These four values I need to insert here. Insert into table name values. These values I need to pass it here. So let me select this and pass whether what you insert is correct or not. Yes, the command executed successfully. Now let me execute it here. So 4 rows are affected. 4 rows are affected here. These 4 rows are inserted here in the branch info table. Let me check what are the rows are inserted in this table. Select start from table name with the syntax which we need to use to check what are the records are inserted here. Select start from branch info. If you select this, see here, you will be able to see the data here. Able to see the data here. And here there is no case sensitive difference. We can use any uppercase or lowercase here. It will work fine. That's fine. But let me try to insert null values here. Let me try purposefully and try to insert null values here. Same syntax I will take here. I am inserting here null values. See here, cannot insert the null values into the branch name. Cannot insert the null values to the branch name here. Why? Because I already put the restrictions. So that here, if you select this, it not allow any null values here because of my not null, because of my not null constraint. So in the previous sessions, in the previous tables, it will allow null. Why? Because we not declared that not null. Let me say in the previous session database here, branch info will be allow null values here. Let me use this. Let me try to insert the values for that previous database. Like I want to insert data for EFG database. So I want to switch on my caller database to EFG database. How can we switch? Use database name. If you select this, it will switch to that previous day sessions database. Here I want to insert here, insert into branch info table and values here. Values I need to pass. Values I need to pass it here. Yeah. So here let me insert value for my old database here. I'm inserting values here. For example, just null here. I'm inserting value for here null. See here. Let me say branch ID here 5. See here null is accepted here because here I not put any restrictions here. Any restriction I not put it here. So select start from here null is accepted. But in my database here, in my database, it's not allow null. Why? Because I put a restrictions here. I put a restriction saying that it should not be allow here. It should not be allow null. Not null restriction. I put it here. But here I not put any restriction. It's a null. So here in the previous database I not put a restriction null. So it is able to allow null. But here because of this it avoid to insert any null values here. It will help us to avoid the like data restriction. It helps us to avoid this. So not null is the one which we need to use here to avoid the insertion of null values, to avoid the insertion of null values here. In such a way we can put the restrictions like primary key for to avoid the avoid the duplication, and not null is need to use to avoid the here null values here. So this is the restrictions we put it for branch. So first restriction is done, means it should be like unique, and here not allow any null value here. Not allow any null value here. It will be put a restriction. This is my first table. This is my first table here. Let me do the validation for country info, department info, same validation, and let me consider some other validation for these three tables. Let me do for these three tables now. Let me do for this table here. Here, in such a way, we can put a restriction on branch. Let me do for same restriction for country and as well as department here. So what needs to do for put a restriction for country as well as branch here. So basically for country, I need to do the same fashion. So what I'll do, same structure will copy here, create table. Instead of branch info, we need to put as a here country info here. Same fashion, we should be maintained as a country info here. Create table name country info, we should be maintained here. Here what are things we need to do here? Country ID we should be maintained. Country ID we should be maintained here. Integer, it should be like primary key. Here how it started, it started from 11, 12, 13, 14 sequence number, right? 11, 12, 13, 14. So my seed value should be 11, and each every time it should be like as a increment 1 by 1. 11 should be increment by 1 here. 11 comma 1 we should be maintained as a 11 comma 1. So 11 is the one where it should be starting the 11, and each time it should be increment by 1. 11, 12, 13 and 14 here. I should be maintained here. Finally, what is this country name? Here country ID, this one we maintain as country name here. Country name we should be maintained for this. Country name is the one where we need to maintain the name of the country, where we need to maintain the country here. And country ID we should be set as a primary key. Why we should be set as a primary key here? Because it should be like maintained like 11, 12, 13, 14 we should be maintained here. So that's the reason we should be maintained as a country ID. Country name should be not allow any null. So country name we should be maintained as a not null here. For country name we should be maintained as a not null here. We should be maintained. So let me create this and execute it here. So let me select here database. What is the database we created for this college, right? This database we need to create and create it here. And always my table name should be unique here. In particular database, always my table name should be unique here. So this is a country info. I created table with a restriction, primary key and not null. Let me insert some value for this. Insert into branch info. Sorry, it's a country info here. For values we need to pass here. For values I need to pass. How can we pass the values here? Country ID is no need of passing any value because it's 11, 12, 13, 14. So here India, we should be like US, and it should be like UK and Dubai. Finally is Dubai here. These are the values I need to insert here. These are the values I need to set. India, US and UK and Dubai. So India, US, UK and Dubai I need to set here. Insert into country info values here. I need to set the values in it. I need to set the values here. India, US, UK and Dubai here. So this is a 4 rows are affected here. 4 rows are affected here. So let me check here whether these 4 rows are affected. And here also same thing, same fashion we should be maintained like foreign key, primary key here. As of now still we are into primary key here. Country info is the table where it should be maintained primary key here, country name, and here we should be maintained keys here. Primary key should be maintained for this. So this is a one we need to maintain, and this is a done. What is next? Department. Department also same fashion. So here there is no much restrictions. Same fashion only we should be maintained here. Here same thing we should maintain here as a department info. Department info here. Here we should be maintained like department ID and department name. Department name we should be maintained for this. Let me execute this to here. So department info is also inserted here. Department info also inserted here. Go your table, department info with the columns like primary key and also column name has been created for this. So now 3 tables have been created for me: branch, country and department. These 3 tables created. So this is very important table. This is my very important table where I should be maintained very strict rules, because this is very important table here. This is a table where I need to maintain everything here properly, because it's a transaction table. It's a main fact table here. This table is very important to retrieve the data. This is very important table to retrieve the data here. This table we should be used proper way. In a proper way we should be use this table here. Otherwise what happens? The user will be get a chance to get a junk data. The user will be get a chances to junk data. To avoid this problem, each and every restriction we need to take care of this. Each and every column validation we need to take care of this here. How can we do these validations here? Let me go by one here. First most thing is key value student ID, right? Here what needs to do? Create table student info need to give, and here we should be maintain like student ID. I need to maintain it's an integer. It should be start with the identity. It should be like 1, 1 means it start with a 1 and end with a 1. First thing. Okay, student name should be like here. We need to put as a envarchar here 20. We need to maintain here, and it should be not null. Why I should be maintain not null here? Means the user should not be enter any of the null values. User should not enter here any of the null value here. Next, this is very important one. Student UID. Student UID here. It's a envarchar here 20 and 2. Here, how much you want to save? For example, here 2, 4, 5. Only 5 values I need to save. That we need to declare here 5 values. And here I need to put a restriction like first should be alphabets, second should be alphabets, and followed by others are 3 are integers. Like first should be alphabets, second should be alphabets, and followed by other 3 here. That kind of restriction I want to do this. So how to do this here? Check is the constant help us to do this validation here. Check student ID should be first should be alphabets, right? First should be alphabets here. A to Z first should be alphabets. And second should be alphabets. Third should be number. And fourth should be number here. And here final should be again number only. I want to put the restrictions in such a way like here I want to put a restriction like student unit ID. Here it should be like envarchar. It should be like envarchar, and it should be like check. It should be followed at this constant only. It should be followed this only. So validation we should be put so that it will accept first A to Z. It will put values like A to Z. Second should be A to Z and followed by 0 to 9 and again 0 to 9 and 0 to 9. Then followed by 4. Yeah, here student ID should be like in this format. First should be alphabets, second should be alphabets, and third should be number, and fourth should be number, and fifth should be number here. Only this format, only 5 for this format only I need to pass. And it should be unique, right? As I said, it should be unique. What needs to do? There is a one more called unique key. Unique, we can do this. What is the difference between unique and primary key? Primary key is the one where it not allow any null values. It will not allow any null values here. But here unique means it should be unique and able to accept one null values here, and one null values it will be accept, and multiple unique values we can do this. Multiple unique values we can do here. Multiple unique values we can create it here in this table. But primary key only one key value in the student input. For example, let me say address or phone number, mobile or phone we can give as a phone number is unique, right? So even you can declare as a unique. Total 2 uniques. One is for this should be unique, and along with this should be unique. We can put a restriction. But here primary key is the only one we can declare. What is the difference between here this one and this one? Means phone number can accept one null value, it will be accept unique value. But here it is not acceptable. Basically unique also we should be not allow any null values, means we should be mentioned as not null. Because that is also required, right? Unique means that's fine, but it should be not allow any of the null values. So for this it should be maintained like not null here. It should be maintained like not null here. Student ID and next phone number here. What is next? Next address I want to maintain. Student address I need to maintain. Address means it can accept null values. Sometimes few guys wants to give the address, few guys don't want to address. Let it be. We not declare here, not null here. We leave it. But what needs to do here? What needs to do here? Something we need to do some validation here, like unique. Why I should be unique here? Address is unique address, right? Door number 6 or door number 10 or whatever it should be accepted. So for that we should be using unique here. So these are the constant we should be maintained here. Any of the table creations, but still yet to do go. Here student date of birth. Date of birth anyway is a date and time. We give like date and we'll give for this. That's fine. but these are the important one: branch ID, country ID, department ID. Why these are the unique one? Because these branches should be fall under this one only. User should not allow to enter any of the branches here. Country means user should be allowed only these countries only. If you try to insert 15, it won't acceptable. Here 101, 102, 3, 4 only. If user enter to try to insert 105, it is not acceptable. These are not acceptable here. These are not acceptable here. These are not acceptable here. So how to put this restriction here? Let me give here branch ID, integer, reference here. Reference, which table we need to refer this value? References, which table I want to refer? I want to refer here branch table, right? Branch info table I want to refer. Under this branch info table, yeah, which is the column you want to refer here? Under this branch info table, I want to refer here branch ID. I want to refer here branch ID here. In the branch info table, I need to refer branch ID here. I want to put here. I want to put as a branch ID. This is a table name. This is a table name. Under this, it is a column name. It's a parent table name. Under this, this is a branch name for branch info. That is branch ID I am referring here. And again, what is the restriction here? Country ID. Country ID is the table. Country ID is the table I need to refer. How to do this? Country ID. Yeah, here country ID. Country ID is the one. Here what I need to do? References. References. What needs to do? This table is referring here. In this referring, what is the table here? That reference table I need to mention here. Here, which column we need to mention here? Country ID means this column is referring this. This column is referring here this data. This column is referring here this data. Means I need to put a restriction. I need to put other restrictions here. And here this one is referring here these columns. We should not give any other values here. It should be refer these values only. You need to do these values. So how to give here? Country ID, integer, references, country info. Under country info, which table? Country column here. Country ID column here. Again, what needs to do? Again, what needs to do here? Again, here. Again, what needs to do here? We need to refer here. Next is what is the column here? Department ID. Department ID is the column. Here it should be integer. It should be refer which table? It should be referred from department info table. Department info table. So that info table we need to call this. Here, what is this? Is my parent call table. This is my parent table. In this parent table, which column we referring? Department ID. That column we need to refer in bracket. In this bracket, that I need to refer. This is the parent table name, column, parent column name, parent table name, parent column name, parent table, parent column name. We should be mentioned. For example, here I maintain here instead of ID I maintain. No problem. We should be maintained here instead of ID, department ID. We should be maintain ID here. Which column you referring here? That column we should be given in the brackets. In the brackets, we need to give what is the name present in it. For parent table, which name? That name we should be referring here. Select whole thing and execute it here. Now we need to go here, check how the table has been created. Refresh this. Student info table. You can see here gold color for primary key, silver colors for foreign key. These are the foreign key. What is this basically foreign key do? Foreign key is the one which is unique for one table and referred by other table. The column is unique for one table and referred by other table is called as a foreign key. Foreign key is the one which is unique for one table and is referred by other table here. These three are foreign key here. These are three are foreign key. Branch ID, country ID, department ID. These are foreign key here. These are the foreign key here. So table has been designed. Now my table has been designed. Let me go ahead to insert the data for this. So what are the restriction I did? One is primary key for maintaining a unique and not. Unique and not null. Not null is avoid the null values. And here check constant. Check constant here I should be maintain like first should be alphabets, second should be alphabet, third should be numbers, fourth should be number and followed by another number. Total here it's like 5 digits. 5 digits first two should be alphabets, third should be number, fourth should be number as well as fifth should be number here. That restriction already we put here. Next is student phone number. Phone number is a unique number, so that it should not be repeat. It should not be repeat here. So student phone number envarchar unique. Why I should use envarchar here? I can use int also. Why I should use envarchar here? Sometimes phone number user will be enter like this pin with a code number they want to enter. My integer won't accept these are the standard symbols. These are the special character it won't accept. To avoid this problem, here itself we should be using envarchar here. It's a unique and not null here. Next is address. Address is the one. Address is the one. Here address is should be unique. Address should be unique here. So it should be accept only unique address values. Only address values it should be accept. So unique I declare means one null value it will be accept. After this it won't accept any null values. Why? Because as I said, unique is the nature like one unique null value it will accept. Rest of should be unique. Null also it considered as a unique values. Null also considered as a unique here. So it will accept one null value here. Date of birth not required any data validation because by default itself it take YYY DD format. So date time I used. Branch ID. Branch ID is the one. It's a unique integer value. Here this branch ID is referred by my parent branch info table. Country ID is referred by my unique country ID name table. And here my department ID is referred by my parent department ID here. With respect to that, I am giving like references, branch name, branch table, references, country info, country ID, references, department info, department ID like this. I need to give a restrictions like this. Which table you need to refer? Which table I need to refer? Which table I need to refer here? These are parent values. This is the parent column values. These are the parent column values we need to maintain like this. So table, everything is ready. Now what it needs to do? We need to insert the data in this order. Let me show you. This is an error. Actually, this is the error record. I will show you how it works actually. This is a error record. First we'll do a proper record. After this, purposely we do the mistake and show you how it works. Here I want to insert the data here. First 4 records I will insert first. After this purposely I do the mistake and show you how to rectify that mistake. First I will insert here, insert into table name, values. I need to pass the values. First values is a integer and a primary key and identity here. I don't want to insert here. For here a ID is, what is the ID here? Student ID. Should be passed like this. And here address should be used. Okay, student name UID and phone number should be like it's a not unique values. Some, let me say I'll give some unique values here. I'll do this. Address I will give like some XYZ address I'll give here. And branch ID, date of birth I'll give like date of birth should be enclosed with a quote here, DD and YY. Sorry, DD here. I will give this. And here branch ID. What is branch ID? Should be valid branch ID. I should be give here 1, 11, 101. This is a single set. Just single set here. Like this, I will enter 4 sets here. 5th set and purposefully I do the mistake to show the how to can be do this. First 4 set I will do this here. I will do little bit changes here. B, C, and D here. And here I'll do this IN002 and here US001, and finally should we make this UK001. And here after this phone numbers I'll make this and this one is like XYZ, right? Address should be one. Purposely I pass the null here. Show you how it accept unit should be a null here. That is I will give here. Purposely one null value I am accepting here because here my unique accept only one null value, not any other null values. And date of birth one 11 101 212 102 212 102, and here third record like 313 103 313 103 here, and fourth should be like 114 104 114 104 here 114 104. This 4 set value I need to declare here. Something I entered wrong here. 1, 11, 101. That's fine. 1, 102, 103, and 104 here. Let me show it's a conflict for department IDs. Department IDs is not inserting properly. Let me check what are the values I inserted for department. Yeah, department values are not inserted any values here, but I'm trying to insert here 101, 102, 103, 104. It's not accepting. For department values, I need to insert some record, right? So let's start from department info here. No values in the department info. I'm using here inserting value here. So that's the result. So let me insert any value here. Okay, department ID I'm passing as 11 here. So what I'll do, I will start with department ID here. 101 I will pass here. I'll drop and recreate this table. Why I'm dropping here? I want to correct my mistake here, so I'm dropping here. Already foreign key data. Okay, let it be here 11. It should be take. Let it be 11. Let it be take 11 here. So here I pass this like 11, 12, 13, and 14 here. I pass this. So that I'll correct here itself also 11, 12, 13. Yeah. So we same value here 11, 12, 13, 14 here. Pass this here 15. It's a junk. Okay, let it be do here. Let me insert a clear value for this. Department name is, let me say IT, finance and HR, right? IT here finance and here HR. We call this under other here. We comma and we call this other here. So let me insert the value for this, and here let me select this. This is data here inserted. So now what I'll do, I'll insert some values here. Correct data. This is a correct data. 4 rows are affected. These are the values corrected one. Let me say here select start from table name. Select start from table name. See here all the data ABCD, all the data is inserted here. It's a corrected data is inserted here. Correct data is inserted. Let me do mistake. Purposely do the mistake here. How to do the mistakes here? Let me show. First set of values will take. Here what I'll do, A means that's fine. It will accept here E. Here what is my requirement? My requirement is it should be unique. It should be unique, right? These are the unique values. I will purposely do IN001. Already IN001 is inserted, but purposely I am doing this. Let me run this. What happened? Here, duplicate key not allowed. Duplicate key is not allowed here. Means IN001 already duplicate is there, so not allowed. Why? Because I put already this restriction unique, not null. And also in this format A to Z, A to Z, 0 to 9, 0 to 9, 0 to 9. Instead of this one, I will do purposefully. I do two numbers here. And numbers, only numbers I will passing here. What happened? It won't take here. Why? It says it mode. Let me say here 5 values. See here, it's a unique key. It's not accept here. So it should be in a such a format. First should be two should be alphabets, and here it should be like unique here. This is a way we should be take. Other than this, it won't accept here. Student address. Address it should be like unique here. So and also here it one null accept, right? One null will be accept here. So no problem here. One null will be accept here. Why? Because address I picked as a unique. So sorry, phone number I picked as a unique and not null. So null will be not allowed here. Let me say here. Let insert a null value for phone. No, student phone won't accept. So null also is like this numbers only. Now is address. Address is able to accept null values. One null value should be accept. So null one I will passing. Purposefully I am not here passing a null value here. That's one thing. Now for this branch ID I have only 1, 2, 3, 4. For this for branch ID 5 I am passing. 5 is not present at all. Let's see here. So 5 is not present. For this it's showing the restriction. 5 is not acceptable. Why? It's a unique. It's a unique here. and also it's a foreign key, means it's referring this table. So we should be enter fall under these numbers only. If you enter any other number, it won't accept. It won't accept here any other number here. See, it won't accept. It should be accept only unique values here. What is next? Country ID. Country ID should be fall under 11, 12, 13, 14. If I pass 15, what happens? Won't accept. Won't accept 15 here. Won't accept 15. It should be accept only value, unique values only. 11, 12, 13. Department ID. Department ID should be unique. Like it accepts only corrected values. If you give here other than department ID 11, 12, 13, 14, other than this, if you enter here, it won't accept. It won't accept my duplicate value here. So these kind of validation we need to use in a single table. Now it will accept. If you correct, it will accept. Why it is again a show here? Here something we inserted duplicate values. So here null is already one present. So it won't accept any other null here. So we need to order this now. Still we have issue here. Branch name. What is that branch name here? Column branch ID should be like what is that branch ID? 5 is already is not present here. So it should be like branch ID should be like we should be give some restrictions here. So one row affected. Now let me run this how it taken here. See here, this is a value. One null value is acceptable here. Phone address and everything is inserted here. So these kind of validation we should be taken care while creating table design itself. Why? Because prevention is better than cure. So here before coming any issue, we should be fix this here. So this is the constant we need to use our here entity integrity, reference integrity, user define. Still one more we need to define that I will take care in the next session.